Today we're going to talk about starting to build the PCB. So the shot you see in there is a keycard and my schematic. So how am I going to approach this? Well, I could just get the parts cannon out and solder every single part on that board, but I don't like to do that because I still don't know whether I can program this. There's always a bit of doubt with these things. So the strategy will be to make sure we can program the microcontroller before we move on and complete the full board. So I'm just going to go through what parts we need to actually put on the board to get the microcontroller up and running so we can program it. So there's the microcontroller. Obviously we need to put that on. We have those 200 ohm resistors, the crystal oscillator and the 20 picofarad loading capacitors. There is a pull-up resistor to the 3.3 volt rail at 10k to pin 7. All those decoupling capacitors need to go on the board, and those capacitors need to go on the board, and those. Coming down to the bottom, there's a mini JTAG programming header. Clearly we need that. Moving across to the left, we've got power supplies. We need to put all those components on because that's what supplies the microcontroller with 3.3 volts. That's another voltage regulator. We need to add all those components. Again, that's a supply to the microcontroller. And we need to add those filters and those capacitors. That's where the incoming power to the board arrives. So if we do get to the point where we have downloaded the program, my experience tells me that there might well be some error messages that come out of that. So at that point in time, I'm still not 100% sure whether the program was downloaded properly. So to check that, I need to add, I think, one more component, and I'm going to check the behaviour from that component to suggest that to suggest that the microcontroller has actually taken the program and the program's working properly. So let's have a look at that. So the IC I've got in mind is this LED driver. We need to add that to the board, and all those components to the left of it. And then what we can do is actually put some, at least one LED for one of the channels. I'll probably go to how I've labelled it there, column 1, so that's junction 7 and junction 8. Connect that to an LED and make sure we're getting the right functionality. So that's my plan. So the LED that I just mentioned, it's got a red element and a green element, and I think by pressing the mode switch it will cycle through red, orange, green, and I think it will pulse if you hold this mode switch down for a number of seconds. So I'm also going to solder a wire into junction 18, SW mode 1. And if we ground that, it should change the mode of the microcontroller, and we should see the appropriate behaviour on the LED. So that's another video done. Next time we'll visit number 6 and we'll start to do some programming in the microcontroller.